Hey guys, welcome back. Today's going to be another edition of Pipes and Books. We'll get the pipe and housekeeping stuff out of the way. It's not a huge surprise. You probably already just saw it. It's that wonderful Harriet squat pipe, pot-shaped pipe, I should say. Really cool green stem. Well, there we go. Yes. Just a reminder, if you did not watch the last video, I think it was the last video, I announced a giveaway. So make sure you check that video out and get yourself entered into that giveaway. Thank you to everyone that has done so already. Got a couple other things I'm going to add to that package. But that'll be a surprise. So, anyways, don't forget about the giveaway. In it today, I opened up the tin of Connoisseur's Choice by Peterson. So that's what I'm smoking today. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, so that's that. This morning, I opened up a package. I wasn't going to do it on here. Not worth it. But I opened up a package. I got 2 tins of Colt Blood Red Moon and 2 packages of the St. Bruno Ready Rub. Did a big old mix up of that and jarred up probably about 7 ounces of the of my St. Chiruno flake or St. Chiruno mix. I smoked some of that again yesterday. Did a quick short. I smoked some of that again yesterday and still very happy with it. So I have a big mix of that now. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the pipe front for today. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the pipe front. So let's move on to the books part because, you know, real quick, what did I finish reading? John Knox, Fearless Faith. It's a biography of John Knox. If you're not familiar, he was he's essentially responsible for the Reformation coming to Scotland, and it's kind of a biography about him and the whole process of Reformation coming to Scotland, and the battle between Protestants and Catholics in Scotland. And it sort of ends off with him throwing his weight behind King James VI, I think it is, who would go on to then establish the King James Bible. So, good book. I enjoyed it. So that was that one. The other book I finished, I mentioned it already, but I just want to do another quick highlight of this book. Shadow of the Wind. This was a great book. It's fiction, and it's about a character who discovers a book in essentially a book cemetery. It's an old library that's got old books, and he randomly comes upon this book, falls in love with it, and it's by an author named Julian Carax, and he tries to find other books written by Julian Carax, which leads him into this mystery, shall we say. Someone's been collecting the works of Julian Carax and burning them all. And he may have the last copy ever in the world. And so the story's about him trying to find out more about this person, this author, Julian Carax, and simultaneously solve the mystery of who has burned and is still trying to burn all of the books. Couple other characters you're introduced to in the book as well, and some of the dramas that are unfolding with those characters. Phenomenal book. Now I'm probably a little bit biased because, again, I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I had never, I don't know why I ended up picking up this book. It was at a used book sale at one of the nearby libraries, and there were literally thousands of books in there, and I just happened to stumble across this one and said, yeah, sure, and picked it up. So there's that connection with sort of the storyline of the book, and phenomenal book, though. Probably don't know this about me. I am a huge Phantom of the Opera fan. Both the book, everything about the Broadway. I've seen it on Broadway several times when it was still here in New York. I really enjoyed the movies. There was a sequel that Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote, and we went and saw that. For when I got married, our what do you call that? The dinner the night before the wedding. Whatever. There's a Phantom of the Opera theme to that. So I'm a huge Phantom of the Opera fan. And this book gave me a lot of Phantom of the Opera vibes to it. So this is, I know it's late in the year. I think this year, I've taken a little bit easier on the reading, but I think I've finished 65 books maybe so far this year. This one right here jumped to number 1 before I'd even finished it. It's a great book. Highly recommend it. There's 3 other books that come after it, not directly related to this itself, but it features characters that are in this book, and then it sort of develops the storyline of those characters a little bit more. So I got all those as well now. Very good read. Highly recommend. So I guess that leads to what am I currently reading? Now that we're relit, let's go. I've got I think 3 books that I'm simultaneously reading. which sounds like a lot. One of them is a book I'll read to get through. The other two are more along the reference route, so just pick up and read on occasion. So the one I just started actually this morning. This is the one I'm going to read all the way through. It's a biography. Biography of Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19th President of the United States. This is a pretty cool series. There we go. What's the series called? The American Presidents. Yeah, there it is. The American President series. I've got a handful of them. I've really only picked up the ones that presidents that I'm really interested in. My interests in presidents are kind of strange, though. I'm not really all that interested in a lot of the big name presidents that were super famous, super well known for doing things. Actually more interested in a lot of the more obscure presidents that a lot of people don't even know, wouldn't recognize the name of. Rutherford B. Hayes is one of those. Part of the bookmark. I'm interested in him for a couple of reasons. So he followed up Ulysses S. Grant as president. And for those of you that don't know, if you're interested at all, if not, we won't be here long. Ulysses S. Grant, his presidency was, I guess it's fair to say he was a much better general than a president or politician. His presidency was very scandal-ridden. And the Republican Party was looking to replace him. And none of the Republican candidates at the time had a very stellar record. People were tired of the corruption in the presidency and the government following Grant presidencies. Come on. So, Rutherford B. Hayes was the governor of Ohio. A very squeaky clean record. And for fear of losing the election to Democrats, this was during the tail ends of Reconstruction. They wanted to put in someone who was not controversial. And they got that with Rutherford B. Hayes. Now, he was not a very super well known. But he was running up against a Democrat, I forgot his first name, something Tilden, Samuel Tilden maybe, whatever. Anyways, it's hard to find things about Rutherford B. Hayes that don't involve the drama around the election. There's a lot of commonalities between this election and the election of 2000, when George Bush beat out Al Gore. There's a lot of controversy, especially in Florida, as far as how the votes went and all that kind of stuff. So, nevertheless, Hayes probably would never have won a presidency over Tilden had it not been for a lot of the shenanigans, shall we say, that the Republican Party was playing. That being said, when it came down to it, the Democrats agreed that they would acknowledge a Hayes presidency, even though it was should not have been, probably, as long as they got what they wanted, which was the ending of Reconstruction in Louisiana, Florida, and South Carolina. And so that was one of the things, and unfortunately that's not a great mark for the Hayes presidency. Nonetheless, other than things that were promised outside of his role by the party, his big thing was ending corruption in government, giving contracts to friends of the presidents, and things of that sort. So Hayes said when he was elected that he would only run one term, and he stuck to it. So, but most things about Hayes involve the drama around that election cycle. His actual presidency was not super controversial in any way, so a lot of people just kind of sleep on. We'll just call it a not super effective presidency, but I want to learn more about it, so that's that book. Another president that I'm really interested in is James Garfield, who followed up Hayes, actually, also from Ohio. And I have a ton of books on him. And it's interesting because he didn't, so he was one of the presidents that got assassinated. Much like Hayes wanted to bring reform to the presidency, had some successes where Hayes did not, but ended up getting killed. And he was a Republican, and as a way of trying to bridge the gap, he ended up with a Democrat as his vice president, Chester Arthur. Chester Arthur. And so when essentially there was this kind of crazy guy, and he thought he should be entitled to an ambassadorship, which there was no way that was ever going to happen. He was completely unqualified and crazy. And he thought he did a part in getting Arthur selected for vice president. So he thought he was doing Arthur a favor by killing James Garfield, or shooting him in a train station. And the shooting actually did not kill James Garfield. One of the bullets was lodged in his body, and the surgeon at the time, so this is when the idea of bacteria and such was just starting to come about, and the surgeon didn't believe in it, and so he was fishing around in Garfield's body trying to find this bullet, which debatably probably would not have actually done any lasting damage to him, but in probing him and trying to find where he thought the bullet was, he introduced several infections into Garfield, and eventually he died from those infections. Not the bullet, actually. So Again, most books on Garfield are about the assassination, but I'm more interested in the actual person and what they were trying to do. So just a couple of my favorite presidential things. Ultimately, not that I'm anywhere near retirement, but when I reach that stage, there's a presidential museum in Ohio for Rutherford B. Hayes, and there's another one for James Garfield. And they're about an hour apart from each other. So at this point in my life, and I've felt this for a couple of years now, come retirement time, I'll probably end up in Ohio, moving to Ohio, and spending my time volunteering and doing programs and such at those museums. So that'd be pretty cool. So that's what I'm reading right now, that one. So again, that one is, I'm reading it to finish it. Oh man. Things are precariously perched on this little stump here, trying to keep my bag out of the snow on the ground. The other books I'm reading, and again, these are more for reference, following up the biography of John Knox over the holiday sales. I found a publisher, Banner of Truth, and they put out a 6-volume collection, the works of John Knox. So these are all his writings, sermons he preached, some of the things that got him in big trouble with the Catholic Church. So I'm reading through this, little bits and pieces. Interesting thing about this is everything is pretty much published as it was written. So a lot of it's kind of like in an old English style. So reading through this takes a little bit of time. Well, there goes my bookmark. That's not helpful. Luckily, I know where I was. Okay, cool. Put that back. So, yeah. The works of John Knox. I have not read the first 2. I sort of skipped to this one after having just read his biography. Volumes 1 and 2 are predominantly what he's known most for writing, which was the history of the Reformation in Scotland, which I will read through, but that's diving into 2 volumes. So I want to start off with some of the smaller writings of John Knox. So that one is one of the reference ones, and then the final reference book that I'm perusing through is back to my good friend J.C. Ryle. Thought I was done with him. No. Once again, Banner of Truth. They have a series, The Expository Thoughts of J.C. Ryle on various books of the Bible. So I'm starting with Matthew. And really actually enjoying this quite a bit. So I'll show you how it breaks down. All right, so there we are. So it's got sections. It's got the Bible verses there. Can you see that okay? I think you can. Yeah. It's got the Bible verses. right there, so you don't have to cross-reference with a Bible on the side as well. And then his expository thoughts on that section. So you can get through there's maybe 6 volumes of that. So it's not something to just push through and read it all. This way you get to read the Bible, and then you also get to read the expository thoughts. You get to see what his thoughts are on the importance, and it's every verse in the books. So this is a very long-term reading plan. So that's pretty much what I'm reading at the moment. This video's gone a lot longer than I thought it would. So yeah, I don't think I'll be making great progress on getting through a lot of that in the next week. Hopefully I'll get through a good chunk of that Hayes biography. Maybe I'll finish that book before the end of the year. We'll see. Yeah. As far as my son goes with the recovery from his tonsil surgery, everything seems to be going okay. We're struggling to find things for him to eat or consume. He's not only a very picky eater, he's also very what's the best way to say it? He's got some sensory things going on. So smooth textures, he's not a huge fan of. Doesn't like ice cream, none of that. So finding things for him to eat has not been easy. I got him used to drinking smoothies, mostly for nutrition purposes, regardless, before this happened. Sneak a lot of supplements in there for him. So it's in a protein shake. And then I put in some liquid multivitamin, some omega-3s, greens powder mix. So he doesn't like veggies at all, not even a little bit. So sort of sneak that in there through his smoothies. And then recently I got it's like a freeze-dried beef organs, powder to add to food and whatnot. So I've been putting a pinch of that in his smoothies as well. He doesn't seem to notice that addition, which is good. Just to get some extra nutrition in him from things that he would not eat otherwise. Nobody really likes to eat organs. Well, that's not true. Most people don't like to eat organs, but there's a lot of health benefits to eating them. And so this is sort of a supplement, an easy way to sort of sneak some of that in there for him. So he's been having a couple of those every day, which has been good. So yeah, that's the road to recovery from tonsils. Hopefully that'll put an end to his fevers, and that'll be that. I'll be putting up a video sometime soon on my other channel, Midway Apparel Life. It's sort of more my business channel, and I'll sort of go over the history of why he got his tonsils out. He has hopefully had, it's called PFAPA. It's periodic fever syndrome, and he just randomly would spike fevers up to 105 out of nowhere for no reason. Essentially, I believe it's like an autoimmune, I think, and it used to be every month, or knock him out for a full week every month, and then started giving him prednisone when he got the fevers, and that knocked it out within the day. But it also increased the frequency to every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks he was getting a dose of prednisone, which is not good. And you know, he was every 2 weeks he would just be off, not very helpful. So there's no guarantee that removing the tonsils will fix it, but it seems to be one of the most proven methods of solving the problem. So we will find out. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Have a good one.